thinking about a workshop that I'll be running for yoga teachers through Yoga Australia. And the topic is really making your own personal practice sing. How to really love your yoga practice as a teacher. And the quality that is different from what happens in a class and the things that we teach and what's important in a class compared to the qualitative difference of your own personal experience of yoga. And that self is broken into two parts. There's your experience of yoga in your life, in how you think, your attitudes, your breath, your posture, your treatment of others, your ability to forgive, your ability to place boundaries. You know, it's like fascia. It moves through the entire being. It wraps and integrates through everything. But then there's also your yoga practice. So I really want to be clear that as a yoga lover and therefore a teacher, we do have a thing called a yoga practice, which is like a pianist who wants to make beautiful music still does scales. And then there is your yoga experience, which is really soulful, personal, beautiful. And of course our yoga practice leads us into these beautiful exploration and can touch upon such deep spiritual tonal qualities. And sometimes it won't. And that's fine too. Yeah, sometimes it's just a raw practice. I call it brushing your teeth yoga, because in daily life there are things that need to be done. One of them is brushing our teeth. We do not have amazing insights by brushing our teeth, but we know we need to do it. It's good for us, it's good for others. So that's one thing I'll definitely be sharing. There may be a relationship between who you're teaching, what you're teaching, how you're teaching, and your own personal experience of yoga. If we can be very busy teaching, running around teaching casual classes at a whole different range of studios, we might be quite depleted and not want to do the thing called the yoga practice, a physical body thing. It would perhaps be a more restorative yoga, perhaps more of the nurturing pranayams, perhaps more having a sangha to speak with, or having a meditation sangha to sit in silence with. So how we teach and what that looks like and feels like will inform the kind of practice or the kind of yoga experience that is most valuable for you. I tend to have a lot of fun and do a lot of the sort of facilitating of a group to bring us together. And, that's really about friendliness, to really feel assured that you are in a very friendly community and it's diverse and there is space for all of that diversity. So you'll have a lot of fun. I love doing facilitation of groups, and you get quite active, and we'll do some partnered work and circle work. And so there's going to be lots of interesting things and opportunities to feel seen and heard. And that's what's really important to me in our workshop through Yoga Australia, looking at your personal practice. So one of my influences is Valley Yoga, and it really looks at the spine kind of like the energy that moves through it, thinking of the spine as having curves and waves of energy and really freeing up the spine. So I think that could be really enjoyable for many teachers. So one of the concepts I'm going to put forward is the idea that learning of yoga as a student is like learning your ABCs, and you want to learn how to do them properly and well. Then, as we mature, we can start using the ABCs, not just to make sentences, not just to make paragraphs, but to really make deep meaning and even potentially poetry. So those poses, let's say Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, will begin to have a voice of its own, will begin to be your Warrior 2, and watch how the pose transforms the mind and the heart as it moves into its next form, without having a scripted idea of what comes after Virabhadrasana 2. So we're always going to have a lot of tension between having a scripted practice that we follow, one pose after another, and then the vitality and creativity and presence of having a open, intuitive, flowing practice where the body tells the person what happens next, not the mind telling the body. And we'll look at why these two very different experiences of yoga are both so very, very highly valid, so valuable. And just to be able to name it and say it can be so helpful, because there are whole yoga schools that really just do a scripted practice. You know, you might think of an Ashtanga practice, for example, as being sort of pre-prepared. And then there's whole yoga schools, perhaps Scaravelli, that are really just listening, feeling gravity, feeling earth, feeling into the spinal flow. And these can come together and be very good friends. They certainly are in my mind. And so already, hopefully, you're thinking about what it is about your yoga time with yourself and with your yoga that really has the body, the heart, and the mind sing. I hope that this idea inspires you and that you would like to come and share time with other interested yogis and yoginis and with me as I share my experience of my personal love of yoga.